reason why I chose these 8 is because I specifically found some sort of interesting utility or access factor. And kia ora whanau! So you would not believe it, but we're doing another episode. What? We're actually doing an episode of that NFT podcast? Does that even still exist? Yes, it does. I've just been on a long hiatus of not doing an NFT podcast. I've been doing a whole lot of stuff in the NFT space, though. Making lots and lots of connections, been exploring this amazing group that I'm a part of that's really big in the investing space and has a lot of massive connections that honestly will far exceed even me saying that concept that it's a massive connection. Yeah, very, very lucky to be in that space. And I've really delved into, with my business partner, exploring our new business that is called the Web3 Agency. Yes, we quite literally got the domain name as well, the web3agency.io. So pretty stoked about that. Things coming with that. But you guys probably don't care about that, because what you care about is you care about what was on the title today. And that is the top 8 up and coming NFT projects. So in my opinion, of course, right? And remember to do your own research. This is not financial advice. This is none of that sort of stuff. Please don't court-martial me because you decide to go into one of these projects super late, or you don't do your own research and then you lose money for any reason. All right. And then, yeah, you get angry at me because you thought it was financial advice, but it's not. So I'm going to share as to why I believe these are the top 8 up and coming that I've seen so far. I bet you literally after I finish this, something will get posted, or see something or come across something, and I'll be like, oh my God, I should have posted about this. Like, this is, better than the top 8 I shared. All right, that will happen. I guarantee it. But with that being said, I'd love to just give you guys 1 or 2 really quick updates, and then we'll go straight into it. Okay. So the very first update is that, well, our podcast, all right? I mean, our podcast, because you guys are a part of this podcast. You guys are the reason why this podcast even exists. Otherwise, I would have stopped after the 3rd episode if it, didn't do well, but it's done really well. For some reason, we've been number 1 in Bhutan, of all places. Like literally number 1. And not just the business space, but actually in every single space. No idea why people are listening to me in Bhutan, but holla, all right, those in Bhutan that are listening to this, because apparently, I don't know whether you like my accent or you generally just prefer a Kiwi guy talking about NFTs than just about anything else in existence. But here we are. I appreciate you nonetheless. You guys rock my world, and you guys are probably a big reason why this show's doing really well. We also hit number 17 in the investing category in New Zealand, number 37, I believe it was, in the business category in New Zealand. It was actually really big, considering I've done 8 episodes and I haven't literally recorded an episode in 2.5 months, which is a long, long time. But here we are, back into it. I'm going to record a bunch of them, and then we're going to have some great releases. We've got some amazing interviewees coming on with their own projects, by the way. Plus, a guy that's in the space that has massive connections will be coming on and doing a podcast episode with us. I'm doing some interviews that are going to be fantastic. All right. One interview, in fact, is, 2 of them are NFT project founders, okay, that, soon to be. And one of them actually both of them have tokenomics, which is really exciting. So we're going to do, I'm sure, a whole episode on tokenomics. What that means, basically, it just means that you can gain currency, like a specific type of currency, just by owning this NFT. But most of the time you'll need to stake it. Not all of them you'll need to stake. Again, I'll do a whole episode on this. It gets a little bit techie and a little bit confusing if I go too much into it. But essentially, it's basically like you're just earning money that you can literally exchange for actual cash just by owning this NFT. It's pretty cool, right? But it depends if, that token has value or not. It depends, how well the NFT is doing. It depends whether that token has some sort of utility, which will therefore give it more value. So many things go into it. So that is exciting stuff. All right. My ask is that if you find this stuff helpful, useful, all right, please give us a shout out. Give people a little bit of access to good old Keza over here. If you think that they're going to benefit from learning more about NFTs, all right, send them my way, because I'm trying to break it down in a very easy to digest way as much as possible. Try to keep my episodes as succinct as possible without yarning too much, but here we are yarning. And what was the other thing? Oh yeah, also if you have a good connection in the space, please link me up, because I'm looking to expand this podcast further. The final thing I'll say is I am just about completely all booked in to be going to VCon, which will be May 19th to the 23rd this year. And I'll get to meet Gary Vaynerchuk and a bunch of other amazing people like Logan Paul. I don't know if you think that amazing and Logan Paul should be in the same sentence, but there it is. Mila Kunis, Deepak Chopra of all people, right? Tom Ballou, Steve Aoki, right? So many people that are huge in the Mumbot, right? Which is a big artist in the NFT space. So a lot of, really big people in the NFT space. And that's, only 5 people out of literally 200 big names that are going to be there. So, amazing stuff coming for this podcast, and I'm very, very excited to be sharing that all with you. It's going to be in Minneapolis of Minnesota. Cool. All right, now let's get into it, eh? So, reason why I chose these 8 is because I specifically found some sort of interesting utility or access factor about them. Access being, by owning this NFT, I get to access this, right? Utility being, by owning this NFT, I get to use X or Y or whatever it is, right? So that's the utility factor. The utility can also be alongside tokenomics, all right? That's also another category that's within the category of utility. So, let's just delve into it, all right? Top 8 straight away. This is in no particular order, by the way, guys. But I am going to start with a very biased one, which is VeeFriends 2, all right? Who knew? Some of them you probably would have heard of, maybe 2 of them if you're in the NFT space. Or 3 of them, maybe even 4 of them. All right. But I guarantee there's going to be at least 1, 2, or 3 here that you probably haven't heard of. So VeeFriends 2, reason being pretty straightforward. Look at the success of VeeFriends 1. All right. Within the space of 4 months last year, 4 months only, it went from 5,000 New Zealand dollars floor price, which is, the price that is the lowest buy-in for it at one point, when it first released, because I remember I bought one when it first released, a good old Karma Kiwi, and then it went all the way up to 120,000 New Zealand dollars. All right, so it 24-folded in price. So that's something like going from 3,000 USD to something like almost 80,000 USD floor price. Right, it was pretty damn crazy. How much of a big jump it made in terms of overall value. So yeah, there was a lot of profit to be made, except then it dropped, right? But why? Because there was a whole lot of hype going on that Gary Vee was, putting out there, and people jumped on that hype, right? And that wasn't his intention, but that's what people did. And then, when the hype got announced, then it dropped because people were like, oh, okay, is that all it was? Okay, I thought it was going to be something bigger than that, right? Now, it was always still big, but just, in people's perception. So now VeeFriends 2, following that, VeeFriends 1 right now is currently sitting at about a 13.5 ETH floor price, with Ether sitting around about a little over 5,000 NZD, I believe. So if I go ETH to NZD, I went NZF, it's NZD. No, it's not even that. Man, it's actually quite cheap still. 4,330 NZD. And then what's that in USD, just because we have US people listening? Literally, what? Yeah. What? That's so confused. Why do you confuse me like this, Google? That makes no sense. It says, yes, thank you. That's better. Okay, so 2,860 USD. For some reason, Google was saying 1 ETH is 1,800 USD. That is, 1 year ago. Makes sense. I was going to say that was so cheap. So, it's a very high floor price. And now VeeFriends 2, in order to be able to even get a VeeFriends 2, you need to be able to own, all right? So listen closely. You need to be able to own what's called a book games NFT. So that's on ETH layer 2 if you want to access it. In other words, if you go to Trevor Trove, just Google Trevor Trove NFTs and literally you'll be able to find it. So in order to access Trevor Trove and buy things through there, you can use your MetaMask. Again, if guys you don't really understand much about what I'm talking about, listen to my first 3 episodes and you'll get a greater understanding there. So you get your MetaMask, and then you Also, with your MetaMask, you'll need to convert tokens to AMX tokens, but there's other tokens you can use as well on that site. And it's just literally another token within the Ethereum blockchain instead of using Ether, which is generally the one you'll use. And yeah, then you buy book games. I don't know what price book games is at now. We can actually just check right now because that's what I do when I'm with you guys, right? I literally just use Google and stuff while I'm doing my podcast, which is pretty unprofessional, but we do it anyway. For some reason, it still does well. So by owning it, right, you'll need to burn it. Burning it means literally gets destroyed. And by burning it, so of course, like I said, you've got to own this book games NFT. You burn these book games NFTs. There's no further details on that. It doesn't say how many book games NFTs you need to own. It doesn't matter. It doesn't say that you need to own like 3 of the same type of book games, or whether it needs to be 3 different book games, or it needs to be a certain rarity or whatnot that will give you greater opportunity to access VeeFriends 2. But it also doesn't guarantee that you will get to access VeeFriends 2, which is a crazy thing. So just by owning book games doesn't mean you will, right? Now it's actually still very low. I brought mine at like 0.25 Ether, I think, like each one. And right now the floor price is 0.24 Ether, right? So it's still very cheap. It literally hasn't shifted. But yeah, there's a lot of book games you can buy. And then you can also access other things by burning them, like such as VCon tickets and also other NFTs as well. But yeah, there's going to be 15 new characters introduced in Series 2. All right, Series 1 has way more characters. And also there'll be some form of access I'm sure Gary V will have there. So yeah, there's a lot coming in that space. Yeah, by owning a book games, which functions as a friend pass, okay, that gives you 12.5 days of an advantage ahead of public to mint VeeFriends 2. Again, it just doesn't guarantee it. So yeah, that's VeeFriends 2. Pretty cool. Excited just because Gary Vaynerchuk is quite literally one of, if not the biggest guy in the NFT game at the moment. And well, I wouldn't say he's the biggest, but he's really up there. I would say in the top 10 easily. And anything that he is going to release is long-term going to do incredibly well. Plus, if you believe in him as a business person, then it's definitely worthwhile investing. So that's meant to release in April this year. All right, so stay tuned. There's no specific date yet. The second one, now, another one you might have heard of is called Invisible Friends. All right. Now, Invisible Friends is run by Random Character Collective, which already has 2 different NFT projects, by the way. All right. The first NFT project they have is called Slim Hoods. If you can search on OpenSea, currently it's got a floor price of 2.4 Ether. All right, which is a very high floor price right now, particularly because the NFT space is in a little bit of a lull compared to where it was literally a week ago, up until a week ago anyway. January was a very hyped month for NFTs, and it's just going to keep going like that. As every time Ether gets more expensive again, right? Naturally, NFTs get seemingly more expensive, and therefore not as many people buy them, right? And then when Ether goes on sale, right? Ethereum goes on sale when it drops, it crashes. Then a lot of people start buying NFTs because everything's cheaper. Right? So pretty straightforward. Now, the other collection that Random Character Collectives own, Mood Rollers. Mood Rollers is currently at a floor price of 2.2. So my estimate and my hypothesis is that quite literally, if you can get an invisible friend for less than 2 ETH, you're probably sweet, right? I'm ideally going to try get it literally as soon as it releases, right? So when it releases, which is there's pre-mint, not pre-mint, sorry, whitelist minting, all right, which is, so pre-sale, in other words, is the 20th of Feb. 2 days later is a public sale, public mint on the 22nd of Feb. No specific timings yet. All right. Now, yeah, the idea is you want to get, just sort of watch the floor price during pre-sale, but it's going to be cheapest after public mint because there's going to be more there to access. A lot of people jump on the secondary sales of pre-sale, and that's not really a good time to buy, in my opinion. Best time usually to buy is during the public sale, because then the floor price will generally go down a bit during public sale, as so many people jump on, unless the pre-sale is the majority of the sale. For example, there's 5,000 invisible friends. that are going to be sold, going to be created. And let's just say as a hypothesis that 3,000 of them are in the pre-sale, then it's probably actually a good idea to buy secondary sales of the pre-sale. But if there's, say, 2,000 in the pre-sale, then you've got 3,000 in the public sale, then it's probably a good idea to wait for the public sale. That's just, general rule of thumb, doesn't always apply, right? So lots of cool things in Invisible Friends. I'll put all the links also in the description so you can actually find of this episode, so you can actually go and find the links to these. I don't know, depending on how busy I am, I might put the website and the Twitter, but I'll most likely just do the Twitter. Otherwise, I can get good old Selena, you are the best. I might actually give you a pretty please and ask you to do that for me. It'd be amazing. Yeah, there's not too much else about Invisible Friends. It's, just a lot about the artist, who is Marcus Magnusson, which is a Swedish dude. Literally, he calls himself the Swedish dude, who draws all their stuff. Yeah, but it's more so about the brand, Random Character Collective, that's behind it, that has done so well and has, the art is pretty damn incredible considering it's an NFT, and it's very well done in terms of the animation and everything like that. So very cool stuff. Unsure what they're doing specifically. I'm sure they'll probably do some sort of animation series or something like that. Looks like that kind of thing. Cool. So that is that one. Then another one I'm going to share with you is, you know what? Why don't we just do anime? We'll do anime. All right. I've got 3 anime ones here for you. Anime right now is huge, and it's been very big ever since the NFT space started. Already it was huge. People were already investing in that space a lot even before NFTs, and now here we are. People have access to an opportunity to invest in a part of a whole project with NFTs of an anime. And if you think about Demon Slayer, which was #1 movie in Japan for a while, which is an anime movie, by the way. It's a movie based on the series of Demon Slayer, the anime series. And yes, it's just anime, right? It's not a real life adaptation or anything. And when it hit American cinemas, it actually, believe it or not, did better than all of the Marvel and DC movies. Believe it or not, all of them. Its numbers were bigger. And this is anime. This is an animation, guys. And it did better than the Marvel, right? So, but by the way, the amount of money that goes into the anime because of the art that goes into it is insane. It's not like your general cartoon, right? If you don't know much about anime. I'm an anime fiend, by the way. But that alone speaks volumes about how much money is in the anime space. It's insane. But especially in the NFT space, anything anime, anything that's got some really nice Asian art generally is going to do very well. So not just the Japanese anime art, but also as well, like the Chinese have their own version of anime, for example, right? Even the Koreans have their own version of anime, right? But it's not, I don't know what it's specifically called, but it's not specifically called anime. But ultimately, they've got some fantastic artists that work on it, right? For example, I'll talk a bit about how I accidentally made 10,000 New Zealand dollars profit through a project on a different episode. But that particular project was an anime-based project, not specifically Japanese anime, but it was a Korean-based artist who I somehow accidentally stumbled across, accidentally got on the whitelist, and accidentally ended up in a situation where I was able to flip them and make $10,000. But yeah, again, I'll talk about how that happened another time. But the project was, jogging my memory, pausing, thinking, and I cannot remember what it was. Yeah, I'll have to do a whole episode on that, and in terms of how to find these ones. But anyway, the one I'm going to share with you is called SoulZ, all right? SoulZ as in SOULZ, all right? Capital Z, apparently. Now, SoulZ, very, very cool. Again, it's a futuristic based one. The art is insane. It looks quite a lot like Oni Force, actually, as in ON1 Force, the art. But in my opinion, actually, the art is even more detailed than Oni Force. Insane. So it's based on this idea of a ramen shop, all right? So you can tell it's Japanese. So it says, the known world, a barren land, comes wanderers from another universe seeking answers for the lost world. You guys probably don't care about that stuff, but also essentially there's this ramen shop that's run by an old man, and he encounters these souls warriors, the keeper of secrets, and then history unfolds. And yeah, anyway. But basically, in order to get onto the whitelist, you had to collect, and I couldn't be bothered with this stuff, but you had to collect 8 orbs, and to collect each orb, you had to do a special mission or task, or fulfill a certain thing, and you got these orbs. Now, that will only give you an opportunity to get on the whitelist. Doesn't mean you even definitely will, right? So a lot of work went into this, and people were really doing it, and that, like, pretty much all the whitelists are gone. It's a huge project. People are putting a lot of effort to, access it. But ultimately, I'll read out a bit of the roadmap really quick. Of course, exclusive merch, every project. But the cool thing is it goes on and says holders will be able to claim one specialty prepared dish from the ramen shop with an added serum to transform your SoulZ NFT. So in other words, similar to Bored Ape Mutant Club, right? The way you mutated your NFT, exactly the same thing is going to happen here, right? The ramen shop's going to be built in the metaverse. It's going to be the biggest ramen shop in the metaverse. Yep. Sounds crazy, but yep, that's the thing. Gordon Ramsay has a restaurant in the metaverse. So, hey, where are we? So, yep. And that ramen shop's also going to have an anime gallery displaying the SoulZ NFTs. What else? 3D playable characters in the metaverse. Metaverse lands and buildings created for use by holders, metaverse parties for all holders, music by international DJ. I'm not sure what that means, but I'm going to assume that it's just sort of giving opportunities for people that own these NFTs to be able to promote their music, right? Anyway, what I'm really excited for is the phase 5, which is play to earn anime game in production. That is sick. Play to earn is huge at the moment in the NFT space. In real life events, that's pretty cool. Pending restrictions, obviously, because of COVID, and then more in development. So very cool stuff. Some genuine Asian fellas behind it, right? So it's not just Americans doing Asian art. It's actually proper Asian artists that have done very, very well in their respective spaces for art. And it's got a huge team in the background. Yeezus is one of the team. It's the moderator who's from the USA. And he has a Sakura-looking anime figure. And he calls himself Yeezus. Or it could be a girl. Could be a girl. Could be a chick. I'm sorry. And also, by the way, I'll actually say, I'll apologize there. In New Zealand, we say chick in a very respectful way. It's not a disrespectful way, but when I was in Canada, they found that actually offensive. So apologies, because I don't mean it in that way. I am very, very respectful to women. You guys are amazing. So that is SoulZ. Now, that, as I mentioned, pre-sale 20th, proper sale was on the 22nd. Did I say it with Invisible Friends? For Invisible Friends, I meant it was February the 23rd. I'm sorry about that. Anyway, you'll be able to see all the links. Now, the second anime project, so this is project number 4. We're going to fire through them now. Tales of Suki, all right, releasing on the 20th of February. This anime is building a series. They're doing events, and they're going to have utility, all right? So Project of Suki. So they're doing, in real life events, which is always an amazing thing. It is an anime project. It's got a lot of members already in their Discord and on their Twitter, which is pretty amazing. When they say we're going to do an anime series, if they follow through with that, it will be huge. This NFT project, absolutely. So long as the anime is at least sub decent. Vacation giveaway, that's interesting. So they're going to do a giveaway for holders. But yeah, again, some amazing people behind it that, yes, are genuinely people from the... within the Suki universe, when each Suki girl... So it's basically, it's going to be woman art, which is always pretty cool. That does really well. Certain age of ceremony takes place, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Yeah, no, you guys don't really need all that stuff. But anyway, when it says 9,999 beautiful, brave waifus, that generally means animated character. But yeah, very interesting project. That's just another one. It's, got similar attributes and bonuses to the earlier project that I just mentioned, which is SoulZ, right? In that sense, but it just takes a slightly different angle, different artists, all the rest. So that's another one to look out for. This one I'm actually very excited about. Now, it hasn't got any hype at all, which I'm very surprised about. So this could be a very, bit of a risky one, but super cheap entry. Not many people know about it. I've talked about it on my Instagram. If you don't follow me on my Instagram, that NFT podcast, one word, all right? You can find that in the description of this show. You can go there. It's actually run by Tonari Animation. Don't know how to say it specifically. I might be pronouncing that wrong, but Tonari Animation. All right. Now, Tonari Animation, if I go to the works of Tonari Animation, okay, these guys, by the way, have produced some of my favorite anime. That speaks volumes about these guys. They've done Mushoku Tensei, which is a Yosenkai animation. Yosenkai meaning it's like an another worldly animation. So basically, a human from Earth gets taken into another dimension, another world, and lives in that world as a completely different being, right? So very cool. Can't remember what the English name for Mushoku Tensei. Mushoku Tensei. Jobless reincarnation. That's it. Zombieland Saga, Digimon, by the way. These guys did Digimon. They did Boruto, which is the child of Naruto. They did Slime Diaries. In other words, you guys will know what that one is if you guys have ever seen it. I got reincarnated as a slime or whatever it's called. Black Clover, that's a huge one. Again, Castlevania, that's a huge one. If you've ever been on Netflix you would have seen it on there somewhere. But yes, they've done quite a few really big animation series. There's others there that are also quite big that I won't even bother mentioning. And they're doing an animation series called Second Self, but they're funding this animation by the NFTs they're selling, and they haven't even minted out yet. And they've been literally minting this stuff since the 28th of December, which is a month and a half ago. That's insane. And they haven't minted out. That blows my mind. But essentially what they're doing is the reason why I think is because they don't start animating the first episode until they've reached a certain number. I don't know exactly. I haven't seen any updates or anything like that as of yet, but I just bought mine for OpenSea for 0.06 Ether. I know that we're doing it. We're talking about a NFT project right now that is already released, but it's technically still releasing, right? Because it hasn't completed its release, it hasn't completed its mint. But yeah, very cool. I'll just read out the roadmap right now, just very quickly. But this is definitely the future of how a lot of NFT projects are going to be running themselves, and how a lot of actual shows are going to be running themselves. Is they're going to be funded by NFTs, right? It's similar to how people might crowdfund a project. Instead, they're going to NFT fund a project, right? So essentially, after so there should be a trailer in production now because they've sold over 2,000 of the NFTs. So that's part of it. The other thing is, episode 1 starts production because they've sold over 2,000, which is great. At 2,500, they do episode 2. At 5,000, they do episode 3. 6,500, episode 4. 8,000, episode 5. And then at 8,888, they do episode 6. And then they'll continue until they complete the series. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I feel like if word got out about this one, like in the NFT space, and a big name picked up on it, it would sell it instantly and it will blow up. But that's if, right? You just never know. So 0.06 Ether to go in on it is very, very cheap in my opinion. So that's why I liked that one. And I didn't actually end up buying 2. I was going to buy 2, but I didn't, just because that 0.06 went towards something else. That was it. Because again, it's just an uncertain one, even though I'm surprised because it's such a big name behind it. Now, that are the anime ones. So keep your eyes peeled for the anime ones. Doesn't mean all anime ones succeed, right? Now I'll share the one that I was going to say for last, but Alluvium. All right, Illuvium is a game. All right, it's a play-to-earn game, similar to, I don't know if you guys have seen the Axie Infinity show, like not actual show, but it's a game. So if you listen to the episode prior to this, you would have seen that Steven and I were talking about Axie Infinity, how big it's been. I won't even go any further into that because it's quite literally been one of the biggest games in history, and it is a NFT game, base game. All right, now Illuvium is sort of the next big thing in the NFT gaming space. And you can already buy the tokens that'll be used on Sushi Swap, say that 10 times fast. You can buy it. It's called SILV, I believe it is the token that they'll be using. But yeah, it's just a very high tech, high animation looking game. So yeah, very cool. Definitely look it up. Investing will look more like investing in the token and maybe investing in players that might play for you, right? To earn a new coin in the game, or you just might play yourself and earn coin in the game. So that's a cool one. The number 7, which again, this is in no particular order, number 7 or 8 might do better than number 1 or 2. Who knows? CryptoGene, one that I stumbled across, I got shown it, the other day actually. And all you had to do was play a game and you got on the whitelist. It was so cool. It was like Flappy Bird, right? Quite literally it was like Flappy Bird, but they used their little, character instead of, Mr. Flappy. Whatever the Flappy Bird's name was. And this is a real cool one because of the way that they already had a game, like a real easy mobile game developed before they even did whitelist. They haven't even reached the Discord yet and they had the game ready. Like that's how prepped these guys are, and that speaks volumes about the developers and the founders. But yeah, in short, they've even got like this insane white paper that you can download. Like it looks mean. If you go to the website, you can find the white paper being just like a very in-depth and detailed description about what's going on in their project and what their vision is. They've got a huge breakdown around how they're doing tokenomics. So in other words, how they're running their token. There'll be a billion supply of it. They're estimating that it's probably going to be about 15 cents per token. So it's a very big supply and a very big market cap. So let's see. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so so there's going to be a lot of utility for the token that you'll be able to get by playing this game. So it's going to be actually a bigger game than just this mobile game that you access through this NFT. But yeah, they've got 4 phases here. So they're going to release, they're going to open up staking. They're going to do so many things in just phase 1 alone, which is, by the way, releasing. I actually have no idea when it's releasing. I don't think they've announced it yet. They might have, but I might have missed it. Then they're just going to build from there. Like they're going to do a whole lot of in-game token rewards, extended gameplays, 1v1 battle arena. They're going to just do something really big. So these NFTs are going to be more investable assets as well. Whereas Alluvium, the NFTs, yes, they are investable assets, but they won't be going up in value so much because it's more the token focused than NFT focused, if that makes sense. That's what Alluvium is more so, whereas this is more, NFT focused. So much. Yeah, it's just best to go on CryptoGene esports. What the heck? CryptoGene Battle Arena tournaments. This is so sick, right? Definitely worthwhile. AR mobile app. Yeah. Just go and read their white paper. Very, very cool stuff. Unfortunately, they've closed that down, the fact that you can play this game, get to 15 points on the game, and then you get access to the whitelist. You can't do that anymore. Sorry, guys. I could have, but it went really quickly. So even if I did this podcast 3 days ago when this was a thing, by the time you would have heard it, it would have closed. So I did announce it on my podcast Instagram. So if you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen it. All right. So there you go. Go follow me on Instagram and you'll learn more about it and all the stuff happening there. So the final one I'll share is Imaginary Ones. All right. That's what it's called, Imaginary Ones. And this isn't Imaginary Friends, by the way. It's different. So Imaginary Ones is their art is another insane one. They are just balloons. So their body is like 100 balloons and then the head is another balloon. It's weird. But it looks so cool. So cool. Amazing art. It seems very inspired by Walt Disney in terms of the type of art and the people behind it and what they speak on, which is real cool. Very vague roadmap teaser that's out, which is they're doing the first drop, which is phase 1. Hasn't announced when, I don't think. Nope, not from what I know. Then they're doing a second drop and brand collabs. So second drop usually means that they're going to either give whitelist to your people that actually go into imaginary ones, or they're actually going to airdrop it to you guys, which is pretty cool. That's usually what it means, brand collabs. Okay. Metaverse, Dreamland play together. So it doesn't really talk much, too much else about anything really, but it's more so it's because of the people behind it. So that's definitely one to be looking out for. Why is it linking to OpenSea? Don't tell me it's already released and I just didn't know. No, it's not. It's just they've just already sorted their OpenSea. These guys are prepared, far out. They haven't even announced when they're releasing, and they've already got an OpenSea link. So there's going to be 8,888 3D art, very cool. Yeah, so the team behind Imaginary Ones have worked with clients such as Nike, Apple, Samsung, Heineken, Spotify, L'Oreal, and so many more. So those guys are the 8 big NFT projects that are coming up. Some of them will be very easy to access. Some of them will be very hard to access because, when upon launch, there'll be people that, have a whitelist and you might not, and you try to go into the public sale, but then because there's so many people trying to buy on the public sale, the gas goes up to quite literally, $1,000 USD or something like that, or even $2,000 USD. This happens, guys, which is insane, just for the exchange fee, and that's not even to buy the NFT. And then it might even fail, and then you just wasted $2,000. And then so that's why you go to secondary sales, in my opinion, when it's a big release, and you try to get, you go down 2 or 3 columns or rows, I should say, sorry, not columns, or even further if it's a big project, and you just buy something that's down further in the rows of the buy nows. So yeah, guys, that's my suggestions around it. But yeah, longer episode today because there was a lot to go through with all the different projects. I'll be doing more on, a lot of stuff really. Like I'm going to talk again about that random flip that I had, how that happened. I'm going to talk about what to look for. I'm going to talk about tokenomics. I've got like a little bit of a list here as well. I'll probably talk more about the things that the NFTs I've got. I own literally about 28 to 30 different NFTs right now. Some of them are for staking. Some of them I'm just holding. Some of them, doing other things. Some of them are holding long term. Some of them are flipping. So lots going on at the moment. I don't know where I put what I was going to speak on, actually, to be honest. So yeah, that's my apologies, guys. I was unprepared and no idea where I put it. So yeah, I guess that's it, guys. But yeah, I'm going to be talking a lot about, a lot of things coming. If you guys have any suggestions, just find me on Instagram and message me and let me know what your suggestions are. If you're releasing a project, let me know, and I might have you on, or I might ask for a whitelist and share some whitelists with the community, which I'll be doing with you guys, by the way. So get ready, because I'm going to start sharing some whitelists with you guys. I'll do some little giveaways for you guys and you earn whitelists. Whitelist just gives you access to the pre-sale, which is usually A, cheaper, but B as well, guaranteeing a buy, whereas public sale very rarely guarantees a buy. So yeah, that's it, guys. Thanks for listening. I love you guys. And thanks for the support, because that's why this podcast is doing well. I appreciate everything that you guys are. And thank you for sharing it. You're clearly sharing it. You guys are doing your job. So thank you very much. I don't need to go ahead and ask again. And just have an amazing day. Be sure to subscribe. It really does help us get further faster, which is ideal for this podcast. We just want to grow it so I can get you guys more amazing people on this show. But also as well, it means that I can get access to more amazing things, and then I can give away more amazing things to you guys, because you guys are the reason why this is happening. So that's about it, guys. I'm going to leave now. Hey, enjoy your day. Ciao, fam. Bye.